And yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Male Soap Opera Moment, your favorite wrestling video / podcast. And why? Well, it's not me, it's the missing man and Vinny Booch. And we are going to give you predictions for Crown Jewel coming up in mere hours, Booch, hours. And Damascus Dez is in parts unknown, obviously on the road to Damascus. It's a very long road. The blinding light may have gotten to him. I've been praying for it for months now. We'll see. We'll ask him when he gets on. In the meantime, we will celebrate the reigning, defending, undisputed Wenz World Wrestling Prediction Champion, Vincent Kennedy Booch.
Yes, the champion is here, the undisputed champion, the recognized symbol of prediction greatness is here, the one and only, the acknowledgement. I feel it every time I'm on here, and normally I go into a little bit more of a spiel, and I like to do my own acknowledgement, but I do got to be serious for a second. I got to give it a little acknowledgement here. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the Wenz for a second, and there's a reason for that. For the last couple months, I've been in a bit of a job searching phase. I've been applying to different places. I've been trying to get online, and I applied to a certain school. I won't say the name because they like to keep things under wraps. And I had all the paperwork done. I had everything set up, but it took me months to finally get my first day of work because I had a couple references that weren't picking up the phone. So they said, "Do you have anybody else that we could speak to?" So I said, "Well, I'll call the Wenz." So I go to the Wenz. I say, "Hey, man, I need your help. Can you give me a reference and everything?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just tell him how great I am and all this stuff." And we had a few fun back and forth. Well, finally, he sends the email. Within 24 hours, I get my official start date. So finally, the Booch is employed, and I have the Wenz to thank for that.
As they say, the Wenz's word goes a long way within the academic academy relevant sector. Booch, you're welcome. Anything I can do to help a brother out, you better just show up and show out while you're there. If not, that lady's gonna come kick my ASS. But who has just entered the room? None other but the man, the myth, the legend, on his way to Damascus, Desmond Dagenhart.
Hello, everybody. God damn it. Always busy. I'm always motherfucking busy.
And there you have it. We've taken it from our usual PG show to R within the first 4 minutes, as it should be, right? So we are going to get to...
When has the show ever been PG?
Back into the PG era. We used to do that. Back when we had to FCC filings and such. Lots of pending lawsuits still. But we're not going to bring those up. We're going to hope they forget about those by not listening to this show. But we got a lot to get to and not a lot of time to get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, in mere hours, we have some wrestling matches going on in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Let's just get to it, guys. We got a championship on the line. Now, I'm talking about the prediction championship, and that is Booch's gold. We did the acknowledgement ceremony. I threw up my ones because, listen, he deserves it, but not after this weekend.
Actually, you gave me two.
He gave you that. What a nice guy. What a nice guy. He gave you 2 ones there.
Both. I feel the love.
Absolutely. The first match where there's been no real love between these two, especially since Randy Orton begged Paul Levesque to let him have his match against Kevin Owens. Y'all's thoughts on this rivalry, but also the outcome of this match?
Rivalry feels really rushed. I don't like that they made such a big deal about Kevin Owens not turning on his friends all of a sudden, and then immediately, oh, now I'm going to turn on my friend. And he's claiming that they turned on him, and I get the whole what they're going with here, but I feel like this should be a match with him and Cody Rhodes, and I get why they're not. Cody's got his thing going on with the Bloodline and going on with, and he got the match with Gunther. He's got a lot going on his plate right now. But at the same time, I feel like Cody's the guy who was originally attacked. It shouldn't be him against Orton right now. But it is what it is. It just feels rushed, and I don't know what we're gonna what to expect from this. But if they're gonna do anything halfway decent with it, I believe that KO has to win. So that's my prediction. KO wins.
Yeah, definitely. Booch, what say you before I get to my prediction?
Well, definitely. And the thing is, I think the issue that what they're trying to do storyline wise is that, Kevin feels like Cody betrayed him because he teamed up with Roman Reigns in that match. They remember all the crap the bloodline went through. And Kevin's not one of those people that understands joining forces with someone you hate to take on a common enemy. Apparently that doesn't process with him. And he sees Randy Orton as guilty by association when all Randy Orton's doing is trying to keep the peace. And that can happen sometimes. You got two friends that are fighting. You're trying to separate them. And you got that one friend that's like, you're either on my team or you're not on my team. It's like, dude, I'm not on any team. I'm trying to keep the peace. Des had an experience with that when me and a mutual friend of ours had a fight. Granted, neither one of us forced him to pick sides, but still. But anyway, point is, I feel like I agree with Des on this. KO has to win for the simple fact that when this is over, he's feuding with Cody Rhodes. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's where he's going next. So he has to look good for that match with Cody. So I'll go with KO on this one.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to disagree just for the sake of disagreeing, especially not my first match prediction of the night. Listen, they're not doing anything with Randy Orton. This is a non-title match. Even if it was a title match, they're clearly not trying to let Randy Orton get up to Ric Flair level. They're not letting him get up to John Cena level, right? At least in my humble opining. He's at that place in his career, that twilight realm where he's going to be the man to put other people over. Not to say Kevin Owens isn't too far away from that, but for the sake of the story and what Kevin needs right now, since this fresh heel turn as of late, it makes a lot of sense for him to win this match. So, with our first match, gentlemen, we all agree that Kevin Owens, KO, is beating RKO.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, let the savagery begin as we talk about the Women's Tag Team Championship. Fatal four-way. Booch, you know my feelings about they're not fatals. I don't like the four-ways that aren't fatal, but I will move forward here as we are going to check out the champs. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill. Will they be champions after Saturday afternoon? Damage Control, Io Sky and Kairi Sane. Versus Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, some up-and-comers. Maybe you aren't familiar with them if you haven't been watching for a few weeks, but definitely worth catching up. Might be just that team that they inserted just to fill those spots. But they are taking on Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Piper Niven might be due here. Chelsea Green on the up-and-coming. Booch, your prediction first for this match, sir.
Well, obviously, let me just say, Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson, if you follow NXT like myself, you know what they're capable of. I love Lash Legend. She is somebody that is highly underrated on the NXT roster. She's somebody that I could see being a future Women's World Champion, main event player. She's that damn good. Personality, look, in-ring skill, she's got it. I love Lash Legend. I'm so excited she's getting this opportunity. And what I love about this is the whole purpose of the women's tag titles is to go to every brand, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. You literally have teams from each brand represented here with all the general managers coming into agreement. So I'm excited for that. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, they inserted themselves in here with when they interfered in a match on NXT that I saw with Metaphor versus Damage Control. And I got to say this real quick. Kairi Sane and Io Sky, it's no secret how I felt about them. They're changing my opinion. I watched them in a tag team match on NXT, and I saw two things from these women I had never seen before. Well, actually three. Selling, working, and psychology. I don't know when they picked it up. Maybe I missed something because I don't follow every week like I used to. But holy shit. They're growing on me. Holy crap. I was blown. Oh, I'm like, is this the same bitches I've been watching? Like, holy crap. I'm actually excited to see Damage Control for the first time in my life. That was amazing.
Now, Vinny, you can't be calling them bitches. You're going to get yourself canceled now.
Hey, I'm already. Yeah, it's true. I'm already in the void. I can't get canceled again.
You just got the job, Booch. Booch just got the job, and he's already cussing on the show that I referenced in the reference in the email. I mean, what are you doing here?
Oh, I meant it endearingly. But well, I want my bitches. They're my bitches. They're my bitches. My bitches over there. I'm gonna say Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair for the simple fact that I think when the time comes for them to lose the titles, it's gonna be closer to WrestleMania, and then they can build a feud to WrestleMania. So until we get closer to April, I don't see them dropping the titles. So I'm gonna go with Jade and Bianca.
Yeah, kind of feels a little too soon. They've only had them for about 2 months, so it'd be kind of weird to take them. But we've seen it before. Listen, we've seen it before. We saw the Bloodline lose their titles on a whim. I couldn't believe what I saw. That was crazy. But we'll get to those matches later on. But just if you missed that, yes, they in fact did lose their titles, tag team titles. Damascus Des, before I weigh in, I'd love your humble opining, sir.
This was interesting because historically, generally, the more teams, the more people in the match, the less likely the title stays hands. But that has not been the case with Bianca and Jade as tag team champions. They lost their titles originally in a triple threat tag team match.
Ooh, good callback.
So maybe they are once again using this large group thing as a way for them to lose the titles without being pinned. And with that, I personally would like to see the women's title make a return to NXT. I'm going to go with, you said it were just Guy? Is that what you said her name was?
No, so Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill versus Damage Control versus Metaphor versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
Metaphor. What's Metaphor? What are those girls' names again?
Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson.
Jakara Jackson. Yeah, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Metaphor. I'm gonna go with Metaphor on this. I want to see it go back to NXT. They have a history. Jade and Bianca have a history of losing in large group matches. And I just don't see it going back to Damage Control, or Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. So I'm going with Metaphor.
Wow. Damascus has just pulled him out and put him on the wheelbarrow with that pick right there. Good God, my man.
I will say this: if there's a tie, the tiebreaker, I will say that that Piper Niven or specifically Chelsea Green gets pinned.
Okay.
So, but Piper Niven or Chelsea, one of them will be taking the pinfall. Not Damage Control, not Jade or Bianca.
I'm going to go out. This is going to be a match where we will have a clear-cut winner, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going with Damage Control to win this match. And Booch may have swayed me with his pre-match prediction antics, blowing them up. Their stock is rising in the Wenz's mind here. I might sell them all fast Saturday afternoon, but time will tell. So there we have it. 3 distinctive picks for the second prediction match of the day. Good God, let's get to it. Seth freaking Rollins going up against big Bronson Reed. How about that fight out of the trucks outside? The curb stomp on the hood of the car. I love it. Y'all's thoughts on this match? Damascus Des, you first, sir.
This match is going to go one of two ways. It's either going to make me really, really happy or really, really, really mad. Because I love Seth Rollins. I've been a Seth Rollins fan forever. But I feel like there's a good chance they built Bronson Reed up just to have Seth walk all over him. And I'm terrified of that happening. And I want Bronson Reed to be that next big monster who actually has a chance at a world title. And I'm afraid that they're not going to give that to him. But I am hopeful that it's going to go the other way, and that's that Bronson Reed has been dominant. And in this one-on-one case, we're going to see Seth putting out the effort, fighting for it, and he's going to look like Seth is going to win, but then Bronson is going to finally get that crush in, and he's going to hit that tsunami, and there's nothing that Seth can do about it. I am taking a chance, a real chance right here, and I'm saying Bronson Reed gets this win.
Oh, I don't think that's a chance at all. I think that's the expectation amongst the universe. He's been over as hell recently. Like at every segment that Raw kicks off, he's featured. It's just little Easter eggs you see, right? That I notice over time. And he's a big man that can fly, right? He's a guy that can get up on the ropes and do spots. And that is what the WWE loves. They love the agile big man. We had it for a little while with Braun Strowman, right? He was doing his thing, then he went elsewhere. Now he's back. But it's great to have somebody not too great on the mic. I love the accent, but not too great. Maybe he can get somebody to help him along the way in that department, but that's not a big enough handicap to hold him down. And for those reasons and many more, I am going to also go with Big Bronson Reed to defeat Seth freaking Rollins Saturday afternoon. Vincent Kennedy Bucci, what say you?
Wow. Out of all of them, this is probably the hardest one for me to call because it can go one of two ways. Because you don't know, like I said, they could build Bronson up just to have Seth take it. They could have maybe Bronson Reed finally be dominant and, be that world champion because Lord knows they're going to need them. Because Gunther's still got some people to work with, but if he stays champ for too long, he's going to run out of people.
Yep.
Hell, Cody's practically running out of people. They're having to reshuffle the deck. So if Gunther's going to stay champion for a long time, he's going to need more people. So you got to build people up and someone credible that could beat him. And Bronson, with the way he's going, he could be that guy to take the world title out to Gunther. It could be a credible contender, but the question is, where do they want to go? And that's really what I'm trying to figure out. But I also know with Seth, usually when they have somebody like this taking a beating and a beating and a beating and a beating, it's usually so they can overcome the odds at the pay-per-view. Especially with the beating Seth has took. The 7 tsunamis that put him on the shelf, everything else, he's coming back. So that's why I got that feeling. They're probably thinking in their mind, well, he did all this beating, so if we give Seth this win, it's not going to hurt him. That's probably what their mindset is. Now, whether we agree with that or not remains to be seen, but I'm saying that's probably their mindset. So Dez took a gamble earlier. I'm going to take a gamble here. I'm going with Seth freaking Rollins.
Yes. Yes. I love it. I love it. Wow. All right. So that's another point of difference here. This next match is an interesting one because we've kind of seen a saga between Andrade and Carmelo. This match was supposed to be the 7th of the games, right? Game 7, so to speak. They've been running the hell out of these promos on SmackDown. But LA Knight has weaseled his way in, was once the referee. Now, due to interference, he wants to be part of this match, and I love it. I love this. I'm going to go ahead and pick first because I've kind of let you guys do that, if that's okay. This will also give you guys a distinct advantage, right? I think that because of the ongoing saga between Andrade and Carmelo, it seems as if they are going to spend most of their time beating the crap out of each other, and LA Knight will come in and pick up the pieces and continue his reign as United States champion. Whoever wants to go next, feel free.
I think if anybody chooses anybody other than LA Knight, they haven't been paying attention. They're not going to... LA Knight hasn't had a real feud with either of these guys. He just got kind of thrown in the middle of their match as a special guest ref, and he even said that he didn't want to be in that fucking position, and that's why he hit them both with a move and that with throw to shit. I think that this is one of those moments where LA Knight is going to pick up the pieces. He's going to hit that. He's going to hit that BFT 1, 2, 3. Ain't nothing else to be said about that.
There you have it. Booch, do you disagree?
Not at all. LA Knight, I feel like he's going to win this because simple fact that I've said it before, I'll say it again. The day they drop that U.S. title and take it off of him is the day he starts going for the world title. Until they're ready to make him a world champion, I see him holding on to that belt. So it's L.A. Knight. It's his game, with everybody saying.
All right. There you have it. Let's move it to the fairer sex as Nia Jax takes on Liv Morgan in the WWE Women's Crown Jewel Championship, a meaningless championship. Let's be honest, guys. They're just trying to build credence. This is Paul trying to make this match seem like it's important. It's not. This is an ego blast, right? We were hoping. Yeah. It's one of those champion versus champion matches, but it's for a championship that doesn't matter, right? This made up
trophy. It's a trophy.
It's like the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal Trophy, which is a curse.
You win a big match. You get to say, "Hey, I won this first championship match, and I got a trophy for it." That's the end of it. That's what this is, and I'm cool with it. And like I said, I like that they're having a champion versus championship match at Saudi Arabia instead of actually putting the world titles on the line.
Well, the cool thing about this match, guys, is that this match could have a lot of swerves, and it could also have some potential returns. But before we get to our predictions and potential outcomes and a wild card or two, Vincent Kennedy Bucci, what say you about this outcome between Nia Jax and Liv Morgan?
Honestly, I forgot this match was even happening. They have done fuck all to build this thing up. Literally fucking nothing. Like, we've been talking about this round.
They've had Super Bowls with it. They've had Super Bowls with it. They had one on SmackDown and one on Raw.
And they actually were talking to each other. Because all I've seen for the last couple of weeks, the ongoing Rhea bullshit. That's all I've seen. Let's talk about the other.
They had Liv mentioned her a couple of times and went to call her out. Rhea interrupted because they are keeping the Liv Rhea thing going. But they very much did mention it on several occasions.
So they are actually acknowledging this because I ain't seen nothing on it. Yeah. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm saying I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's been really short and it's been overshadowed by their bigger storylines, but it has been talked about.
Yeah, and well, that's a problem. They're overshadowing it with the storyline that apparently is not going anywhere because on NXT, Liv and Chiquita attacked them with baseball bats because apparently she has an orbital bone injury and they're gonna keep her on the shelf. So apparently Rhea's gone. From what I'm reading, hopefully it's fake news. But
well, real quick on that, I did some digging on the dirt sheets, Booch. It actually happened during the headbutt segment on Raw, and then they filmed that on NXT to sell it as if it was the baseball bat attack. So that happened. It's a real injury.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so this really puts a damper on the plans. I was hoping to see her and Raquel mix it up. This is obviously not going to happen, but here we are.
But the thing is, they've wasted they're wasted time with this, and they should have just had. I think it should have been more Liv and Nia and less Liv and Rhea. Because it's the feud that will never die, as I've said many times. And Nia, I don't know what the hell she's doing on SmackDown, but I think she's actually focusing on Liv. I don't see Nia dicking around. But I feel like if you're going to want people to take this seriously, you need more than just 2 promo segments. You got to have, like Cody and Gunther, we'll get to them. They've at least done a lot to make you care. Neither Liv nor Nia has really done anything to make people give a shit about this, I feel. And
I can agree with that.
Yeah, they're not doing anything to build this up, and it's to me
it's just a championship versus championship match. That's all it is. The champion versus champion. That's all it is.
That's your only selling point. I have the world title. I have the.
I'm going to make this a filler match. That's what this is going to end up being. It's going to be a between 2 matches that matter.
Yeah, it's going to be the Girl Scout running around the ring with the fat chick chasing her around, trying to get the rest of her cookies. That's pretty much the match we're going to see. And if I'm looking at this, I have no idea who's going to win this, and I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know who to pick here because I'm thinking Nia Jax, ideally, I think would win this, but I know she's got Raquel in the corner, and I feel like she's going to help her cheat. God, I hate myself for this. I don't know what I'm going to pick. I'm going to hate myself Sunday morning. I'm picking Liv Morgan.
Live life, here it comes. Go ahead, Des.
But I'm going to hit myself Sunday morning.
I'm going to add a point on this. I'm saying I'm going to agree with you that Liv Morgan wins. And then I'm going to add in that after they attack Liv Morgan, we're going to see a Tippy cash in.
Okay, here it comes.
Oh.
I've been waiting. Go ahead. So Who's she cashing in on? Liv?
No, she cashes in on Nia because Nia takes a beating from Liv and Raquel.
So who are you saying is going to win the initial match?
Liv Morgan is going to win for the third time now. And then they will beat Nia down, leaving Nia prone for
Tiffany
to cash in.
Okay. Interesting. That makes too much sense. And do you know how I feel about feeling that WWE knows how to put all the pieces together? They got a corner piece here, an edge piece here, and a whole bunch of middle pieces they don't know what to do with. And I feel like this is a time, because this match is just kind of like a dart against the wall. Nobody really cares. I mean, got some big players in the match, but the story isn't there. And I think that's on purpose, guys. I think this match signals the return of Little Miss Bliss. I think Alexa Bliss makes her return in Saudi Arabia. I know it's crazy. I know it doesn't make sense, but that is my wild card prediction. I believe that Nia Jax wins the match. Okay. And then Little Miss Bliss somehow gets involved, gets in Liv Morgan's face. It'll be a whole thing. But that is my prediction that Nia Jax wins, and if for the wild card, and if it comes down to it with all the other matches, I know we're predicting similar here or different here between y'all two and me, but Alexa Bliss makes her grand return to WWE.
Okay. Oh. All right.
I don't know what sense it's going to make, but okay.
No, it doesn't make any sense. That's why it makes sense. That's exactly why I think it makes sense. We'll talk about another Crown Jewel Championship trophy match. As Cody Rhodes takes on Gunther. Obviously, we're going to see some interference from Ludwig Kaiser. Who are we going to see it from Cody's corner? We're going to see it. Who's it going to be? And what impact is it going to have on the match? Damascus Dez, your take on the winner of this match and any potential wild cards.
I have no wild card for this one. It's going to be a hell of a match. We're going to see a lot of old school wrestling here. It should be, in my opinion, this should be match of the night. Purely because of the in-ring ability of these two men. But as for who's going to win, I have been racking my fucking brains on this one. Part of me thinks that, Cody hasn't lost a match in a while. It's okay for him to lose. But part of me is also like, well, you know, he's also kind of the golden boy right now. What are they going to do with Gunther? Is Gunther going to be okay to lose? I don't like the idea of either one of these guys losing, which is crazy because I like the champion versus championship match. At least the title's on the line, so it does make things easier to fix. But this is going to be one of those. I'm just going to have to take a guess. And my money on a one-off match, I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes.
Safe bet. Very safe. Smart bet. Vincent Kennedy Booch, would you like to go second or third?
I can go now if you like. I'm just needing a moment to process because this is one of those moments where Desmond said one thing to me on the phone and now gave me a completely different answer. Because he was saying Gunther on the phone when we talked. I remember.
He's swerving you, bitch.
I know. He's good at it. He's good. He's good.
I've gone back and forth with this one like 15 times.
No, I'm sure you did, but I'm saying when you spoke to me, it was Gunther every time. So you were contemplating off the phone, not when we were talking. So
yeah,
which is fine. You're allowed to change your mind. I'm just blown away. But I will say, when I look at this, I think obviously these are the top guys in the company. And again, Triple H made that selling point that the winner of this is the best of the best. Gunther has cut phenomenal promos on this. Cody, has had to kind of, really get aggressive. And I love that about Gunther. He has this unique gift of sort of work shooting people. And he drags the best out of you. And that's what I love about that. Because Cody cuts good promos, but a lot of times he's cutting promos where he can be the generic babyface. But every now and then, Cody's going to be like, all right, motherfucker, don't take my kindness for weakness. And that's kind of what Gunther's doing. So that's why Cody has to stiffen up a bit. And I love seeing that. Gunther does it with every opponent he has. But the thing he's saying is, you're going to be secondary to me. And again, I hear best of the best. I hear secondary. And I don't see a scenario where Triple H books Cody to look secondary. I just don't see that scenario. And because of that, that's why I'm going with Cody. But I agree. This is going to be the match of the night. I think Gunther will do fine with this loss because he'll just dominate the next guy he faces. So it'll be like it. In a way, it'll be like it never happened. So I'm going with Cody.
Yeah, this is a challenge. This is a tough one because it's really about who can take a loss and afford it more, right? Neither of them feel good. Neither of them feel like it's something that you want. But I'm going to go on a limb here. Might as well, right? You guys are going for Cody. I am going to say that Gunther wins this match. And also, if it comes down to a tie, another tiebreaker, that we may see the return of Dustin Rhodes. He has recently done his contract with AEW. He's done with Ring of Honor. Dirt cheap stuff, guys. Don't know what his actual plans are. He's old. I don't know how old. Probably in his, late 40s at this point. So that is something that we should definitely be on the lookout for. And Cody needs the help. He doesn't have Owens anymore backing him up. He doesn't have a stable right now. So it makes sense to bring Big Brother back and have him have somewhat of protection, right? So that's my pick.
Well,
Gunther with the win, but the return of Dustin Rhodes to WWE.
Yeah. Well, right now it says his contract has expired, but he's still in negotiations to extend the deal. So,
yeah,
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, it's just conjecture. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but yeah, obviously if he shows up, then the deal didn't go nowhere. But he is still in talks about extending it. So there's still a possibility.
And there you have it. And one last match. Remains, guys. And this is the one. Speaking of the ones in the air, this is the one that really, I don't know. I do not know which way to go with this one. And we are going to watch this thing unfold as Roman Reigns, the original Tribal Chief, OTC, teams up with Jimmy and Jay to take on Solo, Jacob, Tama, and or Tonga. And God knows who else. I don't know, so I'm going to kind of lean in on you guys and then make a prediction afterward, just to be completely candid. Booch, what say you first, sir?
Well, obviously this is showing up because there was a spoiler, because WWE decided to take the next SmackDown right after SmackDown went off the air, and that's when they revealed that, because remember on Raw, he said, Jay, come to SmackDown, I'll have Roman there so you can talk everything out. Well, eventually they talk everything out, and they show, and the video's on the internet, so I'm not spoiling any of you guys. If you're on the internet, you already know this happened. They really decided they're going to reform and go after the bloodline at Crown Jewel. Now, obviously, they're freshly back together. So your ideal first reaction would be Roman and the Usos would win this. And on any normal circumstances, I would pick them. Here's why I'm not. For two reasons. One, they still got that fourth guy. It's still an odd number. It's still not evenly matched. And two, we know after this is the Survivor Series. And we know that Survivor Series is going to have the War Games. And we know for the men, it's going to be the Bloodline Civil War. It's going to be 4-on-4. So we need to find that fourth guy. So until Roman and Usos get that fourth guy, I don't see them getting a win. Because there's always going to be that fourth guy to interfere. Some say it could be Sami Zayn. Some say it might be Cody. Some say it might be another member of the Fatu family. because they've got one guy out there. Umaga has another kid, so he's working his way around the indies, and he could show up at any moment. So we don't know who it's going to be. But until they get a fourth guy, I don't see a victory. So I'm going with the Bloodline, but the team. So I'll say Team Solo. I'm going with Solo and those guys.
Strong opinions there. Go ahead, Desmond.
Yeah, this to me, a lot of what Vinny said it makes perfect sense. I also want to add in that the Bloodline of 2.0 Bloodline, Solo's Bloodline lost in their last match against Roman. They're not going to lose 2 in a row, setting up for Survivor Series. To me, that's a given. So I see Solo's Bloodline coming out of the win here, and then maybe they go to jump, and that's when the new Bloodline member comes to help the OGs.
Yep. Yeah, because the OTC needs it, right? They've been working this angle, trying to get the Usos back as a team to help Roman Reigns. It took a few weeks. We predicted it. I mean, anybody could predict that.
Maybe they don't have help. Maybe they don't have help at this pay-per-view because they thought having Jay back would be enough. Mm-hmm. And then now they're going to realize we really need to even the odds.
Right. And so we'll see at the next. Yeah, no, you're 100% dead on there. We'll see at the next PLE that more evened up. But for this one in Saudi Arabia, 100% agree. They're going to continue to work this angle that Roman Reigns still needs help. Listen, this is exactly what we saw when he was on top. He always needed help. He could never do things on his own. He always needed people. So I'm glad they're at least being consistent with this. They're not making him look like a world beater, right? This is the perfect way to build and sustain this storyline. And who knows? I mean, you can look up potential new Bloodline members. I mean, there's endless amounts of people seemingly that are joining this faction. And to your point, yeah, they have more kids in the family. And so it's like, all right, pull them up, sign them. I mean, we've already saw what's happened with Jacob Fatu. He's a freaking world beater, dude. It's insane. We saw 2 super kicks that took him out of the ring. We're talking storyline here, obviously, right? But 2 super kicks took him out of the ring. He falls out of the ring, but immediately, instead of anybody else, would be on the ground outside, kind of shook, maybe leaned up against the barrier, like he's up and like having to be held back by Solo. So the way they're billing this and building this, it makes sense. And you're right, they're not going to lose 2 in a row. I too will go with the new and improved Bloodline, Team Solo, to win in Saudi Arabia. And Booch, what say you?
Well, here's the thing. And it's like you were saying before about Roman's gimmick, like, needing help. He always did. But again, there's a twist to it. See, before Roman needed help, but he acted like he didn't. And he acted like these are all lackeys beneath me. So you should be helping me. Like I shouldn't even have to ask. Now this is more of the Roman needing help, but actually admitting it. And that's what I said before about taking a gimmick that somebody has and switching them from heel to face. You can keep the same gimmick, but there's adjustments you have to make. So it's Roman being like, hey, I'm still the tribal chief. I'm still a badass, but I'm now smart enough to know, look, I need you guys. And now I'm man enough to admit I need you guys. Before, I wasn't man enough to admit it. I would just boss you guys around. Now it's like, look, I can't do this without you.
The chief is only as good as his tribe.
Yes.
And there you have it. We're going to find out. We will find out if Booch will still be holding gold after Saturday. But we will never, ever leave you without a few key catchphrases. One of which is, have a nice day.
Bang, bang.
Happy Halloween, everybody.